everything in astrology is tied to degrees. So each zodiac sign that you have in your birth chart has a degree linked to that. And the degree just kind of means how near it was the certain planet in the sky of when you were born, the event that's currently happening. And that's the strength that you're going to feel something. Like, you know how everyone talks about Mercury retrograde?
Right.
A lot of people feel it more than others because of the degrees in their chart being nearer to Mercury retrograde than other people. So the math behind it is very much tied to like geometry. And there are like squares between planets, trines, different sextiles, like, and that's all based off the degrees and the actual math behind it. So, you know, a lot of horoscopes people do on TikTok and stuff, like a lot of people are like, oh, that doesn't resonate with me. And that's because they don't have degrees near the one happening in the sky.
Hmm.
So it's definitely like a very complex science that you need the ephemeris tool, which is connected to NASA data. And that's the only way that you can actually practice astrology is if you are using like real time NASA data to know the exact degrees of planets in the sky.
Wow. Okay. So there's a lot of, math and science related with it.
Yeah, it's very much like hard to read these things unless you are data and math oriented.
Gotcha. So from your side, what's your sign, by the way? And what are the things, I guess, if you can kind of give like your own read, a little bit similar to mine, I think the guys would be curious about.
Yeah. I'm a Leo sun, so I was born in July, and I'm a Sagittarius rising. So there's a little clash there. But I'm an Aquarius moon, so like my emotions are more airy, not very emotional. Like I'm more level-headed and clear, so that's also why I'm super drawn to like the math side of things. But yeah, the two big fire signs are my main chart.
Gotcha. Oh, by the way, are you in a relationship now?
Yeah, so I actually co-founded the astrology app with my boyfriend who coded the entire thing for me. Like
Oh,
I
nice.
had the vision to do this business and he was the one that wanted to do all of the tech behind it.
Amazing. And before you guys met, were you as versed in astrology?
Definitely like not like I am now, and he got more into it than I did because of like the math side of things. Since we are building this app together, we're doing a new version later this year. Like he's coding all of the math on the back end. So he had to learn all of the nitty-gritty and like knows more than I do at this point about like the actual science and stuff behind it. But when I met him, like I really wanted to make a business out of astrology, and he was the one to really support that and kind of egg me on. So we started this business together 4 months into dating, and we've just hit our 2-year mark.
Amazing.
So we've built a really awesome startup together.
Yeah, that's really cool. So tell me more about the app. Like, who's it for? Why'd you want to create it?
Yeah, definitely. So I had a lot of just personal one-on-one readings before I wanted to make the app, and I found like a lot of women are super lost in dating in the sense of like they don't know what they're doing wrong, they don't know why their relationships keep going badly over and over. And I kind of pointed them in the direction of like, you just have to leave him. You just have to end this relationship, try something new, and this is the reasons why based off your birth chart. And it's helped a lot of people leave really terrible situations and actually find the love of their life. So I wanted to put that on a bigger scale and like help as many women in love as possible. So I always knew I wanted to make an astrology app, but it wasn't until I met him that I knew it could be possible and like have someone to support me in that. So we launched 8 months ago, officially on the App Store. And we've had over like 250,000 downloads now. And it's all based off when you'll meet your soulmate, where your soulmate is from, how you'll meet them, and their entire zodiac chart. So you know exactly who to look for. And we even do drawings of your soulmate because you can see all of that with astrology and see like the exact perfect person for you based off your birth chart. So I made like a very complex math algorithm to find the perfect person for you.
That's so cool. And what's the ratio of women to men on there?
I would say like 85% women, 15%
Okay.
men.
Yeah, I see
Yeah.
maybe in the future, I'm sure you've thought of this, but like, if you had enough users or enough, male users, it could maybe even be like a dating app where you can meet.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think like we definitely like he really wants to make it a dating app because it's a much bigger market, but you just have to get the women on there. That's like the pillar of any dating app is once you get the women on
The
there,
guys come.
you can the
Oh
guys
yeah.
will come. Yeah. So
They'll go anywhere the women are. So if you have 85% women, that's already, a pretty fantastic place to be because most dating apps are like 8 to 1 men to women. And that's why they
mhm.
suck,
Yeah.
right? So
I think honestly, like it would be super fun to make it into a dating app one day. Like I just need to hit like at least 1 million users, and then we can start matchmaking up people on the app. That would be super
right.
fun.
That's cool. Do you have any data on the amount of single women versus women who join that are in a relationship who are kind of trying to find out if they're with the right guy?
It's definitely majority single because we give all that data of like when you'll meet and how you'll meet the perfect person for you. So um, we do definitely have some relationship girlies, but that's more like 30% of our users. So the majority are single for
Gotcha.
sure.
What advice would you have for guys who, might be listening to this and they're like, okay, I see the value in learning a bit about this as a way to connect, to understand myself. Like, how should they go about educating themselves?
I honestly like I'm not the biggest advocate for like mentioning it on a first date
Mhm.
because I feel
It's a
like,
little cliche.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. So, I think the best thing for guys to do would be to look at their own birth chart and kind of like understand their communication style and dating style and not like communicate that to girls early stages of dating, but just to know that so that you can date with more intention. Because once you realize like how you come off in dates, then you can make the date go a lot smoother and know if it's a connection or if it's just like a one-time thing. So I would love for more guys to just know more about themselves before going out on dates. And you can pull up your birth chart super easy. Like you can download my app and it has all the information about yourself like in dating, just as an easy way to really see your birth chart. But look towards your Mercury. Like I said, you're a Gemini Mercury, so you like to talk a lot about different topics. Venus sign, that's your love language and how you want to date people, like if you want to show affection or if that takes longer for you. All of that knowledge is on the Star-Crossed app. And then your Mars sign, which is like the sex life that I was mentioning earlier. Um, I go deep into like your sex style on the Star-Crossed app. So it's really fun to see the girl you're dating too, what her style
Yeah, I'd have
is.
to check out what my wife's like on. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll jump on there later and have fun dissecting it. It's always fun to like learn about
Yeah.
yourself, right? Even, it's like
Mhm.
getting your fortune told or going to a psychic or that sort of thing. It's always fun and insightful and yeah.
It's really fun. And I wanted to make it even more fun, like when dating. So you can just tap phones with whoever you're on a date with or any of your friends in real life. You just tap your phone and it shares your zodiac charts.
No way. That's cool.
Yeah, it's
Like
it's really fun
sharing.
and it tells you like how compatible you are, like right when you tap, but not in a big way. Like if you're on a date, it says like you have 7 of my soulmates zodiac chart placements. So it's just a number instead of like actual compatibility percentages because I don't really believe in
Yeah.
that.
And that's interesting. So, and you mentioned you probably wouldn't want to mention it on the first date, and I wanted to unpack that a
Mhm.
little bit because I feel like the my pet peeve when it comes to dating, what I tell my clients is like, if you can make it not like a date and you can remove the formality and the whole like we're on a date thing, it's going to be so much more fun, way less pressure. You just want to kind of feel like you're hanging out and having a good time. And, if
Mhm.
things lead to like a physical connection or whatever, that's awesome. But there's no like pressure on that. There's no like this formal we're on a date thing, I feel like is what makes dating, shitty and hard.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
and so if you're bringing up like, what's your sign? And like, let's test our compatibility, right? You're putting all this sort of pressure,
Right.
and the girl's going to likely feel
Mhm.
like, oh, he's too into me. Like we just met. Like,
Yeah.
why is he like thinking about this stuff? Like, we haven't even slept together. Like, and now he's thinking like,
Mhm.
is this my soulmate? It just makes you look like really needy as a guy, I feel like.
Yeah.
Obviously if
Yeah.
she brings it up, you kind of get a little bit of a pass there. And that's probably a
Mhm.
sign that she's into you and whatnot. But it's when to introduce this stuff and like how to sort of pivot that conversation. Like it could be like a really fun thing if you were like, oh yeah, by the way, or like, are you into astrology at all? I was listening to a podcast and I heard about this thing and I downloaded this app and like gives you all this stuff, right? Like it really depends on how you frame it. But I feel like that's where guys get probably hung up is they get too serious about it when I feel like it should be something fun and light and playful to connect over. And then when you know that you have an audience where she's like, oh yeah, this like, you know, this is something I really find valuable. I believe in it. And then, later on you kind of go deeper on it.
Yeah, I think, like, personally, I don't know, for men, I wouldn't bring it up until, like, you're getting to the stage of, like, maybe we'll commit to each
Right.
other. I definitely didn't bring up any astrology until, like, 3 weeks into dating,
Yeah.
just because you don't wanna, like, go too far, but you wanna do it right before you guys become boyfriend, girlfriend. So, the closer to when you guys are gonna commit to each other, the better, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But, you kinda learn about their birthday and stuff earlier. So that's all you really need to
Right.
know, like 1 week, 2 weeks into dating, like, "Oh, is your birthday coming up?" That's an easy segue into it, and you don't need to know more than that until right when you guys start becoming boyfriend, girlfriend, and then you can, like, start talking about astrology and all the fun stuff about
Yeah.
it.
I feel like that's kind of when my wife and I started really talking about it too. And we both figured
Mhm.
out, she's like, oh, yeah, I've always had good relationships with other air signs, like other Geminis or Aquarius and whatnot. And it was, kind of right around that time where we did commit to each other. And because, yeah, if you do it too soon, then it's just like I mentioned. So I love that framework that you just gave us there.
Yeah, but you did it in a good
Yeah.
way? You're like, "Oh, I love air signs," like, very keeping it surface level instead of getting into the nitty-gritty,
Right.
like, you did it in a good way, not showing your hand too
Totally.
much.
Well, yeah. And the funny thing is, it's like I've had some of my closest relationships with Capricorns, but those are also my like most um, butting
Butting heads,
heads thing,
yeah.
right? And I didn't
Yeah.
realize, I forgot what maybe my moon or something that you mentioned was a Capricorn. I'm like, oh, that makes sense now.
No, it definitely does. Your moon sign, like, you don't get along with people that are your moon sign because it just triggers your
Right.
mind, like yeah.
All sorts of triggering happening. So yeah.
Literally, yeah.